Being a student at UA had always been hard work, but you never really minded it. After all, being a hero when you graduated would be even harder. You, despite your quirk not exactly being good for combat, managed to get into UA's well-proclaimed Class 1A. Not knowing anyone in the class, you took the group by storm with your charming personality and positive energy. You were shy, but you hoped easing yourself out of your comfort zone would help you become the cute, friendly, social butterfly everyone saw you as. Pretending to be someone you weren't, however, started to take a toll on you as time went by. It was emotionally exhausting putting on a facade. You set aside time every night to train your quirk, and along with staying up late to do homework. You were burnt out and felt drained. You even started dozing in class, which was something you had never done before. Still managing to put on a smile became more and more difficult as time went by, and soon you stopped showing up to your lunch table. It was immediately noticeable, considering you were usually the first there, waiting for everyone and greeting them with a wave and a wide smile. Mina mumbled, looking at the table with curiosity. Where's Listener? She looked around, trying to see if you were at any of the other tables. After the group looked around for you, fuming, they sat down, sharing their concerns or curiosities about where you might be. Bakugou, however, didn't say a single thing, keeping surprisingly quiet and messing with his food as he thought to himself. He was snapped out of his thoughts by Kirishima, who was waving his hand in front of the blonde's red eyes. Bakugou looked up at him. Do you know where they might be? Kiri asked, rubbing the back of his neck. The red-eyed male rolled his eyes with a huff. They're probably studying in the damn library, he growled, getting up without even taking his tray to dump it. He stomped away from the table of the confused Bakugou. Kaminari then had the oh-so-brilliant idea to follow him to see if their theory that he liked you was correct. Nobody could deny that Bakugou obviously had feelings for you, but the blonde would never admit it. He even asked Kirishima, his best friend, if he thought your hair was as soft as it looked. Kiri teased Bakugou about that one for a while, and he still does at times, earning even more denial from the blonde that he liked you. Dumping their trays along with Bakugou's, the group stealthily followed, watching Bakugou quickly make his way to the UA library. He carefully opened the door, the weight of it making it close behind him quickly. Realizing that their effort at a stealth mission might be in vain, the group decided to camp outside the library instead of risking going in. Meanwhile, inside, Bakugou's eyes scanned the room. His gaze finally landed on you, and his eyes softened. There you were, slumped over a table with your arms folded across your homework, and your head resting gently on top. He walks over to you, sitting in the chair next to you. He copied your position, gazing at you as you drew in a small breath before letting it out. Without thinking, he reached forward and brushed the hair from your eyes so they could get a better look at your face. When you let out a small noise, opening your eyes slightly, he froze. Bakugou? You mumbled sleepily, not even noticing that your faces were quite closed. He blushed, turning almost the same shade of red that you were. Wait, why were you red? Getting a closer look, Bakugou realized that you had sweat beading on your forehead and dark circles under your eyes. He returned his hand to your forehead where he had just brushed your hair from it and felt it. It was warm. How long have you been here, idiot? He growled softly, his tone harsh, but it was also quiet and gentle. He pulled his hand away as you sat up and rubbed your eyes. I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe? You groaned out, honestly feeling like garbage. Your stomach growled and Bakugou's eyes widened. He glanced around the table you were at, only to find papers, notebooks, and a textbook. Lunch, he said quietly, huffing under his breath. Huh? You asked, not hearing him. I said lunch, he spoke, looking back at you. Where's your lunch? You glanced to the side, a guilty look flashing onto your face. I didn't grab anything today, you told him, looking back up at him, expecting him to be mad. I'm grabbing your stuff, was all he said, standing. He began putting your papers and other things into a neat pile. What? You asked, looking up at him in surprise. You deaf or something? He asked, referencing the fact that you made him repeat himself twice already. I'm putting your stuff in your bag. You're coming with me. Before you could tell him you were fine, Bakugou had your stuff packed, and your bag swung over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. He grabbed your wrist and pulled you up, the room almost immediately spinning when he left you to stand on your own. You stood still, staring at the floor and willing the nausea and dizzy feeling to leave. He turned to look at you, noticing the fact that you were slightly wobbly. Hey, come on, he told you. He then glanced again, and when you hadn't moved, he walked over to you. Please stop, you whispered quietly to your spinning head and churning stomach, not even noticing that Bakugou had approached you again. Without skipping a beat, Bakugou dropped your bag and hoisted you on his back. Thankfully, there was nobody in the library to watch except the librarian, who was thankfully not paying attention. Not having the energy to refuse, you let your cheek rest on the back of his shoulder with your arms tucked in close to you. You watched as he grabbed your bag, holding you on him with only one arm. Letting your eyes fall shut, you drifted off for a while, too tired to really do anything else. When you awoke, you immediately felt hot and sweaty, a throbbing pain in your head. Your eyes fluttered open, and with a weak glance, you looked to the right to see Bakugou at his desk, studying. Why was Bakugou there? Desk? Where were you? You stared at him for a moment before his red eyes turned to glance at you. Doing a double take, he noticed you were awake. His face was surprisingly soft for the angry Bakugou you were used to. His eyes were gentle, and with a quiet voice he asked, "How are you feeling, listener?" Honestly, you let out a small laugh, a tired smile painted on your face. Like garbage. You managed to push yourself to a sitting position. Your laugh was enough to put that rare smirk on his face. The blonde male moved from a spot at the desk to sit on the edge of the bed right next to you. Your smile fell as he suddenly reached out and cupped your right cheek with his left hand. A blush painted your already reddened cheeks. "You're still pretty warm," he commented, slowly rubbing his thumb under your eye and across your cheek. "Huh?" you answered, your brain basically short-circuiting thanks to his gentle touch. Your face went even redder when he leaned forward and placed a small kiss on your forehead. "I would say to stop overworking yourself, but I don't do that whole nagging thing. Not like damn Deku." Bakugou growled the name of your classmate, but you looked down for a moment, looking at your hands that were piled in your lap. The blonde looked back up and let your eyes meet his. "You should have told me," he said, his hand leaving your cheek. You didn't say anything, but you honestly wanted him to put it back. "You'll get sick if you do this to yourself. It was only small this time, but I'm serious." You nodded, looking into your lap with a small pang of guilt ringing in your chest. "Listener," Bakugou said after a few seconds. Yeah?" was your response as you looked up to his face. You expected him to be mad, but instead he had a blush painted on his cheeks. Before you could figure out why, Bakugou had your face cupped in both of his hands. He looked into your eyes for only about a second before closing his own and leaning forward, giving you a soft kiss. When he pulled away, you both had reddened cheeks. He looked away, too embarrassed to say anything else aside from, "So next time you decide to overwork yourself, let me know. But you should take care of yourself, dumbass," he huffed, trying to hold up his exterior. You nodded, giving him a small smile. Without even thinking, you moved forward and placed your hand on top of his. "Can I?" You smiled with slight embarrassment, looking to the side and tucking your hair behind your ear with your free hand. "Can I hug you?" you asked. Without missing a beat, Bakugou stood and scooped you into his arms. "Bakugou!" you squeaked, clinging to him out of instinct. You hid your face in his chest. He laughed, something you thought you'd never hear. It was gentle and sounded genuine. "What?" he asked, looking down at you. He was still smiling. "Did I scare you or something, moron?" You looked up at him and gave him a dull thud on the chest with your left hand. "I said I wanted a hug, not to be scared shitless," you protested. He just simply laughed and placed another small peck on your cheek. "I know," he teased. Without another word, you were carried back to his bed. He sat down, his back against the wall at the head of the bed. You were on his lap, still in his arms. Your head leaned against his chest, and he had one arm over your lap and around your waist, and the other was supporting your back and running his fingers through your hair, which was, in fact, softer than it looked. Hey guys, Maru here. I hope you enjoyed my first fanfiction on this channel, and, wow. There were moments where I kept messing up, and I was just like, but how do I word this? I kept messing up because I fangirl over my own fanfiction. I'm literally so dumb. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't know when my update schedule will be, actually, because I have a full-time job. I'm also CEO of the Procrastination Squad, so yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed. So, bye!